There was some great sense of a door opening into an understanding of life that I had been waiting to come to.
I know life is going from good to better. And that is the most uplifting thought. I love it and I live with it every day.
It has influenced every area of my life, and it's uplifted me and given me an understanding of who I am and what God is and what the purpose of life is. We living in this little apartment, and he would throw his stuff on the floor, and I would have to always pick it up, and I was getting, to be a bit much. And Dr. Hurwitz said to me, "You have to be grateful that you have this sufficiency," and he doesn't. Be grateful. It was just, everything was gratefulness. And I felt that opened up a door to me, and that being grateful opened up the spiritual door.
It's not organized, it's not a religion. It is, you don't have to be a member. There's no in or out group. It's the ideas. By their fruits shall you know them. If someone understands these ideas, their lives are blessed to the degree that they understand them. And we all get on to the ideas and apply them in our lives, but there are no rules. There are no shoulds. His focus really was not religion or metaphysics. He wanted to make a contribution to psychiatry. And one of his little booklets is called God in Psychiatry. And he quoted from some Old Testament prophet about the valley of the dry bones. And he wanted to breathe life into the dry bones of the psychiatric world as he saw it.
Dr. Hora was a psychoanalyst who had discovered that analysis and psychology didn't work.
His interest was that of a psychologist and a clinician, and he wanted to explore what is it that keeps us from realizing the truth, which so many is stated everywhere in all different religions and philosophies over the millennia. There's been some pretty clear idea about universal spiritual truth, but we seem not to get it.
He traveled mentally and thoughtfully through all the great religions of the world, through the great thinkers, through all the great literature, and ended up in the New Testament. And not as a place to worship, but as a way of being in the world.
As Dr. Hurwitz would say, there are many ways to the truth. And if your life is not more joyous, more happifying, go find something else. Don't waste my time and yours.
Most of us don't know what our purpose in life is. What are we here for?
Who has the better life, the first violinist or the second violinist?
It's very simple, but it's very important. In metapsychiatry, we say that the purpose of life is to come to know reality.
And we went around the group, everybody was making suggestions and ideas, talking about this and that, money, prestige, you know, a sense of enjoyment, anything we could think of, until Dr. Hora came out with the answer that had us all taken aback and embarrassed that we didn't think of it. His answer was, whoever loves the most.
And there's nothing out there that's going to make us happy. It's all within. It's all the understanding of ourselves, of who we are, what we are, what's the meaning of our lives.
It isn't so much what we do that matters in life, but how much love we bring to it.
It's not to get rich, it's not to, you know, be fashionable, it's not to be whatever. Everybody thinks, no, we can express it in different ways, but to come to know reality, that's what we're here to do.
So metapsychiatry comes and says, you can develop sufficient understanding of reality and of your self-identity so that you can become immune to these universal tendencies to suffer.
I hurt my ribs and I was lying in bed, and one of my friends, I said, gee, I don't think I'm getting anywhere. I was with this therapist for 2 years, and I'm worse now than I ever was. I didn't even feel sick when I went. So she said she went to a panel discussion, and she saw this doctor, Dr. Hora, and he seemed different than the others. You might want to try him.
Psychiatry and psychology study what's wrong with man. And metapsychiatry is a study of existence, existential metapsychiatry, but it is looking at man as everything right and everything good.
And what was happening in the therapist was that why I was suffering so was that I was saying to him, I feel this way with that, I feel this way. And he never was ever able to help me get away from the feelings. And I kind of waited to see, why don't those feelings change? And as I was waiting for the feelings to change, not knowing that I can do anything about it. And here I'm going for almost 2 to 3 years to this guy, and I'm getting worse and worse.
Having had 5.5 years of psychological therapy with its focus on feelings and the reality and the importance of feelings and crying all the time, shortly into the session I began to cry over something, and Dr. Hora said, now you are being dramatic. And I was devastated. It's so interesting to me. I felt like I'd been hit with a 2x4. And as I thought about it later, much later, I realized there was absolutely nothing personal, critical, or judgmental in his comment, but he nailed what I was doing.
And I'm talking the same way to Dr. Hora, so I'm talking to the therapist downstairs. I said, I can't tell you how I feel. I feel this way about this thing, and I'm feeling it. And he says, do you want to change your feelings? I said, what? I'm able to change my feelings? He says, yes, change your thoughts. I said, say that again. He says, change your thoughts and you'll change your feelings. Let me tell you, one session, I didn't have to go back. That's how great it was. And I think about it now, I tremble. I tremble from the whole story.
That was his kind of therapy, which was clarifying the idea, the beliefs and the thoughts behind our behavior, what he called our mode of being in the world, the way we think and think we have to be as persons. He would just clarify the ideas, and learning to allow those, essentially what he called ignorant or personal beliefs about things, to be clarified, and not taking that personally, not trying to defend it, was one of the major lessons, I think, for all of us who worked with Dr. Hora.